they wanted to go into the pool, and I have like an open invite usually for them anyway, so they were already there. Okay, this is another one. This is another merch. Shock Doctrine. We got some real cool stuff coming out anyway. But yeah, did the merch photo shoot, went in the pool. I got scratched up a lot by Honey, my buddy Mike's dog, Honey. She is an aqua dog. I've never seen a dog like this. He has 2 Belgian Malinois. You've met him on the stream. They were there for Kaya's birthday. They're Kaya's best friends. One of them's a male. One of them's a female. The female is younger. She literally spends 3 hours in the water. I've never seen anything like it. She just jumps in the pool and only stays in the pool. And she just swims around for 3 hours. I'm not even kidding. Like, it sounds like a joke. It sounds like a joke when you describe it like that. You're like, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're exaggerating. No, we were in the pool for 3 hours. She was in the pool for the entirety of that process. A Belgian Malinois. The other one can also swim pretty well, Huxley, but he doesn't like going in the pool that much. But he'll just like throw his own ball into the pool and then go chase after it and then swim. But yeah, that's me doing the LeBron. Bro, think he LeBron? Yeah, I know. I love LeBron. Anyway, I found out that my Finnish national TV article came out. They did it both in the news as well. So there's that. We'll obviously cover that too, or we'll visit that link. Hassan Piker became the voice that young American men listen to. We'll obviously cover that as well. And then I spent the rest of the day shooting, playing some ball. And honestly, it's finally getting better. My leg is finally getting better. On the weight gain side, like, I'm fat. 10 pounds. State of Qatar, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. That's crazy. The State of Qatar showing up. Yeah, I've been like, I'm 235 right now. I need to get back down to like sub 225. You reached the front page of it yesterday.
Matters, and I think inexperience is dangerous in this case.
Oh shit,
Mr. Mamdani had a staff of 5 people. You're now going to run a staff of 300,000.
He never says his last name right, by the way.
He's never dealt with the city council. He's never dealt with the Congress. He's never dealt with the state legislature. He's never negotiated with the union. He's never built anything.
Mr. Mamdani, to Mr. Cuomo, I have never had to resign in disgrace. I have never cut Medicaid. I have never stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from the MTA. I have never hounded the 13 women who credibly accused me of sexual harassment. I have never sued for their gynecological records, and I have never done those things because I am not you, Mr. Cuomo. And furthermore, the name is Mamdani, M-A-M-D-A-N-I. You should...
That got 53,000 upvotes. That's crazy. They're doing Project 2029, and they have Neera Tanden and Jake Sullivan on the board. Yeah. The real Mamala. Mamdani. M-A-M-D-A-N-I. Mamdani. So... yeah, but personal news wise, that's it. Like, I've been holding it down a little bit. I had some sandwiches yesterday, some Italian sandwiches. I haven't been eating too great, but I did spend the entire day doing activities and being outside, and it was fucking awesome. And I also realized that, like, I also realized that Kaya is not used to that at all. Like, she's used to this. She's used to just sleeping. She's used to playing in the morning and getting all of her energy out and then just passing out, right? And I know this because yesterday she got absolutely cooked. I put her in the pool. I made her swim a little bit. She does not like swimming. So there's no new update on that front. But also after that, I took her to the park. I'm telling you right now, she is not capable of, okay, I don't care about this. She is not capable of doing that much activity. She should be doing activities throughout the day. Yeah, no, she can't handle it. She literally cannot handle it. But at least something that's good, at least one thing that I've realized that's good is that, like, I can actually still move around a little bit again. Like, my ankle has been, it's not fully healed yet, but it's like almost fully healed. And it took 2 weeks, but I can run again. You know what I mean? Like, not fully, but kind of run. I don't think I can play. Like, I don't think I can play basketball with, like, you know, you've needed to ball. It was like withdrawals. Yeah. Like, I'm still feeling it. Like, I'm still feeling my ankle, like, even right now, but you know, we'll see. And then I did the tub, did a little bit of recovery, passed out, and woke up, got it started right again, baby. Back at it. You already know. But my right shoulder is busted as hell. This is 225, light work, not a big deal. Didn't want to push it too hard. Hit that quick 6, not an issue for me at all. But right shoulder is still tweaked out. Haven't been able to figure it out. Haven't been able to figure out fixing it and how to fix it. But yeah, that's it. I'm back at it like a crack addict. Oh yeah. Any interest in watching the Senate Big Beautiful Bill amendment stream? Fuck no. But we will be covering that, obviously. That's a huge deal. It's big booty bill. Don't worry. Nobody wants to work anymore, especially not John Fetterman. Mélenchon getting stun locked by one guy in the chat. Oh no, he did a live stream. Okay. Wow, she changed the Twitch's landscape more than anyone else. The genius behind Cutie Cinderella. That's crazy. That's crazy glaze, dude. Huey's Cutie, how she changed Twitch. Massive impact of streamer awards. Butterfly effects of streamer awards. That's glaze. If you wear a MAGA hat, it'll fix your shoulder. I doubt it. The State Department has revoked the visas of Bob Villain, proud son of a diplomat and former U.S. ambassador. Wait, to Mexico? This is America did. That's cool. That's sick, man. We're such pussies. God, this country. Oh my God. Anyway, let's get it started. Let's get it twisted. Let's get it going. I'm gonna blast off. Mamdani mania continues. Trump's awful bill and how to stop it with David Dayen. SCOTUS ruins Constitution. Idaho. Sniper shoots firefighters. Israel strikes journalists. As Trump demands to free Bibi. Get in now. Yeah, yesterday was pretty crazy. Are we dying for Israel? Dude, every day. Let me tell you something. If you're not dying for Israel, you're anti-Semitic. So don't you dare say you wouldn't die for Israel. I don't entertain that kind of, I do not entertain that kind of anti-Semitism, which is the maximum anti-Semitic position. You need to say, Am Israel High right now. You need to say, Am Israel High right now. You do not want to be anti-Semitic. The Macy's, thank you for the playlist. I live in the area. Following the sniper room news was wild. Yeah. As soon as I heard Idaho, I was like, there is 0% chance this is an Iranian sleeper cell. This is 100%. I mean, I don't know the details. But I suspect it's Aryan Nation activities, right? Like that seems like an Aryan Nation ass move. Down to like shooting firefighters. Yeah. Not even like a Groiper. I'm talking, this isn't even like Groiper shit. This is like OG. This is OG Aryan Nation shit. Like this strikes me as something more than like internet Groipers. Like internet Groipers will do like school shootings and stuff, but this seems like they had smoke for the fire department, which has to be beyond. We call them homegrowns. Oh, I mean, most of it is homegrown, obviously, but MHUD, he's a conservative teen. They censored his t-shirt with Trump is Rocky in it for their narrative. What the fuck? It was a Groiper? Oh my God, that's actually shocking. Dude, what the fuck? It was actually a Groiper. All right, we'll cover it. Range Media did good coverage on their last updates on their Insta. No way. That's crazy. I really thought like, oh, this is like some fucking 45-year-old Nazi, like Aryan Nation guy. I did not think it would have been a fucking 20-year-old Groiper. That is kind of crazy because it's Idaho. Idaho and like targeting firefighters makes me feel like this is more organized and a long-standing beef. This is not new Nazi activity. New Nazis will go and like kill all the girls in their school or something. Old Nazis would like, old school American Nazis back in the day would do like the order type shit. Like they had a much more organized version of violence. Like they were way more organized and way more militant. It wasn't in the same way that like these guys do it. These guys nowadays will just be like, I mean, the attitude is still the same where it's like they're so stupid. You ask a Nazi back in the day, like Aryan Nation, the order times, like they literally thought if they blew up a bunch of shit, they could potentially spark a race war. And nowadays, the stochastic terror that you see is in the same vein where they literally think, oh, if I shoot my school, then I'll start a race war. And it's like, no, dude, it's not. It doesn't work that way. Like, you're so fucking stupid. You're such a dumbass. Of course you're a dumbass. You're a fucking Nazi. But like, these guys all literally think if I do just enough violence, there will be race war in this country. And like, no, it doesn't work that way. Okay? It doesn't fucking work that way. You're so stupid. having said that, the old school Nazis, what is a Groyper? This chatter asks. Groypers are online Nazis. They're like the under the age of 35 in the Republican Party neo-Nazis. They mostly like meme online. They watch like Nicolas Fuentes. They also fantasize about race war, but they're primarily on like forums and stuff. And they're gross, but it's a little bit different than like Aryan nation style, like fundamentalist white nationalists. This type of Nazi. Yeah, no, that's what I thought. I thought it would be like this type of shit. Not this type of shit. Groyper, sometimes called the Groyper Army, a group of alt-right and white nationalist activists led by Nick Fuentes. Members of the group have attempted to introduce alt-right politics in the mainstream conservatism in the United States, participated in the January 6th Capitol attack, blah, 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 blah. I hope that was I hope that explains it. Anyway, that's Groypers are fucking weirdos. To be fair, Nazis of all different backgrounds are fucking weirdos, but like Trump is targeting naturalized naturalized Americans for citizenship criminal offenses. Yeah, listen, this is the worst case of I told you so that's taking place in American society right now. I've literally detailed every single step that the Trump administration, I told you, was going to take in this process. And every single day we are moving closer and closer to that reality of denaturalization, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is exactly what Nazi Germany did. Okay. A lot of people think like, oh, dude, this is not Nazi Germany. They weren't like deporting non-citizens or whatever. It's like, no, this is the process of declaring people non-citizens is exactly what Nazi Germany did. And they absolutely did deport people. Okay. They deported them and they put them in concentration camps in the process of deporting them. So it's not hyperbole. We're in it. And it's so crazy that Americans can't just fucking wake up. Remember, exactly like Nazi Germany, people who still support him don't see that. They're insane. I think a lot of people just don't understand. I really feel bad for the FBI agents that have to go through your stream. No one should be subjected to this level of stupidity. Lol, goofy take. Okay, guys. I don't think you understand. Like, you can agree with what the Trump administration is doing. I mean, that would require you to be a piece of shit. But you can't just fucking be like, no, you're wrong, sweetie, or you're stupid. It's just a one-to-one comparison at this point. Like, the expectation from you, I suspect, is until it gets to like 6 million, you know, you won't actually say this is a good comparison, because I think you suspect that the Nazis just woke up one day and decided we're gonna kill 6 million Jews. That's not how this works. That's not how this started. Okay, there is a long and convoluted legal process from appeasement all the way to the Nuremberg race laws, all the way to the process of like remigration and denaturalization that took place, criminalizing Jews and criminalizing different kinds of political ideologies. Like, it didn't start overnight. It didn't end overnight. That's not how this works. Okay. We are slowly but surely moving through that process right now. It's step by step. Just like Donald Trump didn't come into office and immediately start talking about denaturalizing people. Okay. He didn't. But now he wants to do that as well. I warned that this was going to be his eventual goal. But now that like the Supreme Court has offered him a tremendous power where basically the only way to combat this kind of thing by executive mandate is to take it all the way up to the Supreme Court, launch a class action lawsuit that literally has every single person that it wronged party in it, take it all the way up to the Supreme Court with the hopes that like the Supreme Court will take it on, allow the class action lawsuit to continue as a class action lawsuit, and then also will work against the Trump administration, when in fact we have seen they have not actually done that. That's the real reason why the lower courts no longer have injunction powers, as I covered extensively last week, and I'll be talking about more today. So very low likelihood that the Supreme Court will allow or the Supreme Court will rule against the Trump administration unless it's like directly impacting capital somehow. My father is the son of a half Jewish German World War II refugee, and he doesn't see the parallels. I guess as long as it's not coming after him, he doesn't care. That blows my mind, especially if you're Jewish. Like when you like Jewish people will be like, "Oh my God, you said death to the IDF. That's the Holocaust." But then you're literally facing down the barrel of a second Holocaust happening, and you're like, "Nah, that's not." Like, how is that possible? This is not even like a never again just for Jews moment. It literally will happen to Jews as well. What the fuck? Any comments on the fatwa? Which fatwa? I think it's a good comparison for what is actually happening, but I'm not sure it's the best way to explain it to normies. Directly comparing it to the Holocaust is met with overreaction from normies. No, I think it's a pretty good comparison, because what you can describe to them is that this is exactly how events unfolded that led to the Holocaust. We are in like the third step right now. There is probably like 17 more steps. Not even the third, 17 more steps. I'd say we're in the third step. There's like 7 more steps, right? It's not necessarily hyperbolic. It's taking the exact same shape and the exact same form, the process of remigration and the process of like denaturalization. That is precisely what happened with the Holocaust as well. But like it doesn't go gas chamber overnight. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. I hear it. There it is. The United States Holocaust Memorial Museum defines the years of the Holocaust as 1933 to 1945. The Holocaust era began in January 1933 when Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party came into power in Germany. It ended in May 1945 when the Allied powers defeated Nazi Germany in World War II. The Holocaust is also sometimes referred to as the Shoah, the Hebrew word for catastrophe. Ironically enough, Nakba is the Arabic word for catastrophe, and it is the word referencing 1948, which is when the Zionist brigades conducted an ethnic cleansing campaign and an ethnic displacement operation of 750,000 Palestinians, which was also the steps taken to create the nation state of Israel. Anyway. That is a separate point. Getting back to it, when they came into power in Germany, the Nazis did not immediately start to carry out the mass murder of Jews. However, they quickly began using the government to target and exclude Jews from German society. Among other anti-Semitic measures, the Nazi Germany regime enacted discriminatory laws and organized violence targeting Germany's Jews. The Nazi persecution of Jews became increasingly radical between 1933 and 1945. This radicalization culminated in a plan that the Nazi leaders referred to as the final solution to the Jewish question. The first part of that is to create the Jewish question, to look at all of the existing economic anxieties and economic tumult that was in place in German society, and then immediately redirect all of that enmity towards Jews. There is the Jewish question. You create the Jewish question, and then, of course, when you create the Jewish question, which is asking society why you feel so angry and resentful. Oh, it's because Jews control the money. It's because Jews control the media. It's because Jews control academia. So once you create the Jewish question, then you have to have a solution for it. And the solution is the final solution. What is the final solution? The ethnic cleansing and whole-scale slaughter of all of the Jews in the concentration camps and the death camps. That is how the Holocaust happened. Okay? The final solution was the organized and systematic mass murder of European Jews. It did not happen overnight. It took 10 plus years. The enmity was pre-existing. The enmity already existed. It was greatly intensified post-World War I. Okay. The enmity towards Jews already existed in historic Christian societies to begin with. And this is how it led to the Holocaust. A lot of people do not have the capacity to understand that the reason why we know about this and the reason why we cover it, the reason why we learn about this, is because it is considered the crime above all crimes, the worst possible crime possible. Okay? Genocide, ethnic cleansing. It is the worst crime. It is the worst crime imaginable. The reason why people learn about it, the reason why we all know that this is an immoral, morally repugnant position, is so that we understand, we recognize how societies move in this direction, and then we hope that we'll never repeat it again. However, a lot of people literally look at this indescribable evil and say, well, it hasn't gotten to that point yet. They haven't killed 6 million Palestinians yet. So I guess it's not the same, right? Because they're stupid. Black slavery was bad too. Yes, chattel slavery and the Nazi regime and the Holocaust are the two things that most historians across the board will directly say is evil. Okay, chattel slavery in its practice was unique. It was uniquely cruel. It was uniquely evil. It was more evil than every other historic form of slavery. Okay, straight up. Which is precisely the reason why most historians, while most historians won't actually offer any sort of like determination and simply just repeat and simply just explain events of history, the Holocaust and chattel slavery are the two things that most historians will openly say is really fucked up. This does not mean that there aren't also additionally cruel practices that even Germany and Belgium and many other European countries engaged in Africa and the African continent that would be akin to the Holocaust. Absolutely. Having said that, those are the two things that people recognize as like deeply, deeply immoral. Historians even. Anyway. Why am I talking about this early? It's not even 11. It just turned 11:09 and I'm already talking about the Holocaust. Well, it's because we are in it, okay? We are in the early stages of America's Nazi regime. And just like the Nazis hosted the Olympics in 1936, we are also going to be hosting the fucking World Cup in the United States of America. History oftentimes doesn't immediately repeat itself, but it often rhymes. However, in this circumstance, it is quite literally fucking repeating itself. So, the Olympics and the World Cup, exactly. Another place that hosted the World Cup was Argentina. During the military junta and its disappearance regime in Argentina, they literally a fucking mile down the road from one of the largest political dissident prisoner, one of the largest prisons for political dissidents. Argentina was was hosting the fucking World Cup a mile down the road. You know, what a time to be alive. Junta, sorry, not junta. Junta. So, lots going on in the world. I'm not going to start off with a big, beautiful bill. I am going to go with Zoram Mamdani and the Mamdani mania. Zoram Mamdani says, I don't think that we should have billionaires. Full interview. Okay? Mamdani mania has overtaken the world, overtaken the United States of America. But also, the more he reaches new levels of prominence and popularity, the more people get racist and insane about his existence in general. People are pissed off that he was eating with his hands. People are frustrated that people are mostly just frustrated that he's a brown guy. That's what it is, honestly. All right, but let's start with this.
Welcome back. A stunning political upset this week in the race to lead America's biggest city. 33-year-old Democratic Socialist and New York State Assemblyman Zoram Mamdani is poised to win the Democratic primary for New York City, beating out former Governor Andrew Cuomo. He's now set to head to the general election, but his likely primary win is already sending shockwaves through the Democratic Party. And joining me now is Zoram Mamdani. Mr. Mamdani, welcome to Meet the Press.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. There is so much to discuss. We have to start with your remarkable victory in the primary for mayor. You're 33 years old. As I just said, you started out at close to 0% in the polls, Mr. Mamdani. You came back to topple one of the biggest names in New York politics, Andrew Cuomo. What was the secret to your success? Do you think it was your message? Do you think that voters were voting?
This is good. This is positive. I'm happy that they are directly asking what contributed to his success instead of, well, what the hell? What a good start to the day. Wow. Good start to the day. Mini F. Love to see it. Love to experience it. Love the situation. It's just a stutter, and we're fine. We're good. Everybody calm down. Okay. Good start to the day, baby. We're gonna test the delay. What number am I holding up? Type this number if you see it. 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's like a 3-second delay. It's not that bad. All right, we're good. There's only like a 3-second delay. It's not the end of the world. All right, let's continue.
Against Andrew Cuomo, a little bit.
Oh, what I was saying while the delay, while the little outage happened. So, one of the things that I think is good, personally, is that they're asking Mamdani directly what caused his victory. The reason why I find it frustrating, or the reason why I think this is good, is because overall there's a lot of like people taking credit over what caused him to win, and these are mostly like the DC consultant class that is running their mouths and claiming that the reason why Zoran won is because his policies. It's not because of his policies, but because he actually was on board with the abundance mindset, or the reason why Zoran won is because he had a joyful campaign, or because he did social media. No, those are all, especially social media, played a big role in this. But very obviously, a major part of his victory was his policies and his massive turnout machine. Zoram Mamdani had 50,000 door knockers, dude. Are you kidding me? That's like a percentage of the overall vote. Like, that's significant. That is incredibly significant. Here is me jokingly responding to Donald. You guys met him already. Boringstein is like Zoran's cinematographer. He was you probably saw him while we were live streaming. He was in the background also filming. Representative Rua Roman says, it's not just Zoran's videos that won the primary. If you don't have a serious ground operation, you will lose, even with the most viral videos. A viral video does not make a movement. His media team is amazing, and they deserve all the flowers, and the rest matters. Donald said, going to keep hammering this home. The field operation on our campaign was the greatest since Obama 08, and if adjusted to scale, far and away the most impressive field operation in the 21st century American politics. Understand. Ladies and gentlemen, understand something. The person who is saying that is quite literally the person that is the person who's saying that is the person who should be saying, no, it was the videos. I'm the kingmaker, okay? Because he's literally responsible for half of the fucking social media. He's responsible for the cool movies that they shot the entire campaign. And he's the one saying, that's not the case. It's not just like the fucking social media or whatever. It unironically is the fucking turnout. It's the turnout machine that they had. And the only reason why the turnout machine was the way it was is because of the policies. Okay? You can't have a turnout machine like that. You cannot have a turnout machine like that without the policies that that a fuck ton of people care about. Okay? Hold on. I need to... Where is it? Sorry. I'm doing something to fix the I was doing something to fix the chat arena because it was showing like the fucking deleted messages. All right. To which I responded with, nah, it's because Zoran did joy and abundance, and also abundance, I think. I'll let the big boys in mainstream media and DC consultant class handle the analysis on this one. Okay? There's no way door knocking did more for the campaign than social media. Dude, the fucking social media guy is telling you it's the door knocking. What are you talking about? Like, this is the guy. Okay? Do you understand? This is literally the guy. I'm showing you the guy who did the social media, and the guy who did the social media is saying it's not the social media, it is the incredibly impressive turnout machine. What are you talking about? He's just being nice. No, he's not being nice. Look at his bio. Director, DOP, video for Zoram Mamdani. Like, I know him. I met him. I know he was there. I know his team. What is going on? There is not. It's so funny. It's just like, it's so crazy that you have people who are like, nah, don't believe it. I don't actually believe you. I think I'm just going to keep going with my own mentality. Kamala Harris had a incredible social media machine. Why didn't it work? Why? Why did it not work? Do you think Kamala Harris didn't do enough social media? She did. It's because Kamala Harris did not have Kamala Harris did not have good enough policies that would push a lot of the quote unquote left, the door knockers, communities such as ours, into mobilizing for her. Okay? That's it.
Bit of both. How do you see it?
I think ultimately it was the focus on the fact that we live in the most expensive city in the United States of America. It's also the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, and yet 1 in 4 New Yorkers are living in poverty. And
Bro does not stop, by the way. Yeah, 18 to 44 was almost 50% of the electorate, by the way. The big question heading into the New York City race was what percentage of the electorate would be 18 to 44? Manhattan Institute had it at 24%. Marist had it at 30%. Emerson had it at 35%. The actual result was 18 to 44-year-olds were 48 to 49% of the electorate. That is the reason why all the polls were wrong, because they didn't weigh the 18 to 44 vote accordingly. 50%. How did that happen? Well, that happens when you got 50,000 door knockers, okay? I checked this roughly against the voter file. My firm uses some noise created by birth dates and such, but 2024 G based on age right now, 18 to 24, 176,000, 25 to 29, 237,000, 60 to 64, 238,000. Target early data implies more 18 to 29 Democrats voted in the mayoral primary than the 2024 general. More 18 to 29-year-olds that are registered Democratic Party voters voted in the New York City mayoral primary than they voted in the fucking general. The general election for the president. That's why I said Zoram Mamdani was able to actually do the Bernie method successfully, because the Bernie method was supposed to be this tremendous turnout of the youth vote, which is hilarious to say 18 to 44 is the fucking youth vote, by the way, but it is because of how old the voters are in general. But up until like 18 to 44 as a demographic, there's a shit ton of numbers there. There are a shit ton of people there. They just don't vote. They don't vote because they have nothing to vote for. When you got a candidate that actually resembles the electorate, you have a candidate that actually has policies that the electorate wants, and he is an earnest communicator, this is what happens. Okay? Biden Defense Squad says, a big part of why I'll support Zoran going forward is because for years I've been like, well, if you guys want to win, why don't you actually go out and vote instead of just tweeting? And now that they've done that, I can't really be like, no, I didn't mean like that. Now, this is just the Biden Defense Squad, right? Like, this is a Biden dead ender. I'm glad that these guys are actually realizing that this is the method. Having said that, a lot of the establishment Democrats will not do this, okay? Understand that they are spending most of their time and most of their effort currently attacking Zoram Mamdani. It is crazy. You have an incredibly unpopular tax bill that is so unpopular that it's unpopular with Republicans being pushed for by a Republican president that is also unpopular. You have mass instability, war all around the globe. None of the things that Trump ran on that he said he was going to fix, he is actually fixed. And instead of the Democrats using that as an opportunity to talk about how austerity sucks and how, these guys are basically stealing your lunch money so that the wealthy can get a fucking tax cut, right? Instead of the Democrats using this unprecedented opportunity to really drive a wedge between the base of Republican Party's base of support and the Republican Party politicians, they're spending a decent amount of time talking about the one fucking guy that actually went out and did the damn thing with popular economic policies and won a goddamn race in a closed Democratic Party primary against a dynastic name like Cuomo. I saw this graphic in an article earlier and thought the same. He got them damn kids to show up. This is what they voted for. Now he has to expand his coalition. I'm not arguing or fighting over the will of the people in a fair election. I also tell them, well, if you want to win, stop choosing terrible candidates. So I can't be like, how come Andrew Cuomo didn't win? I don't understand. So you're happy to throw Jewish New Yorkers under the bus when at the cost of vulnerable members of society is the Republican way? Yes, New York, Jewish New Yorkers, the vulnerable members of society that are under attack constantly. Bitch, I'm a Jew who I guarantee you has taken 100 times more anti-Semitism than you have on this app. So shut your mouth and know your place. Oh, that's awesome. Dark woke, baby. Dark woke. Wait, what? Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, was asked if President Trump supports Representative Andy Ogle's call for a denaturalization proceedings for Zoram Mamdani. She said, surely, if the claims are true, it's something that should be investigated. Oh, my God. And then right on the dot, dude, look at how fucking botted this stupid-ass website is. Yikes, denaturalization is a heavy move. Sounds like she's leaving the door open without fully endorsing it. If markets react, Cameron West might tie it to a political risk, but it feels like more culture war than policy. I swear to God, everyone is a fucking bot on this website. And then you look at Cameron West, and it's helping new and experienced investors make better trading decisions through research and market updates.
Thank you, Caroline. Does President Trump want Zoram Mamdani deported?
I haven't heard.
Haha, so funny. Haha. 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 So funny. Let's just literally deport a dude who won a fucking Democratic primary. Like, what are we doing? What is happening right now? What the fuck is going on? Real funny, haha. Just a little Hitlerian policy making, you know. This is why Democrats need to do everything in their fucking power right now to basically back the boy, okay? To basically back him down to the wire. This is a major contest that is an existential threat, not only to the Democratic Party as well, but also just to America in general. I don't think they understand, or perhaps they do understand, that this is an existential threat to the United States of America, and they simply don't care.
Him say that. I haven't heard him call for that. But certainly he does not want this individual to be elected. I was just speaking to him about it and his radical policies that will completely crush New York City, which is obviously a city that the president holds near and dear to his heart.
There's this Congressman, Andy Ogles. He wants the Attorney General Bondi to explore denaturalization proceedings because he thinks Mamdani could have misrepresented or concealed material support for terrorism based on rap lyrics he wrote in 2017. Does President Trump think this is a worthwhile?
This is the most psychotic angle of attack, dude. This is insanity, okay? Oh my God. They are using denaturalization for everything, okay? They are going to use immigration for everything. You make a fuss, denaturalize, okay? And now that there is no process of injunction, now that there's no power in the courts to actually put a stop to this kind of madness, they can just kind of get away with it until the Supreme Court takes it up. And what if it doesn't go all the way to the Supreme Court at all? This is literally what the Nazis did, okay? Every single thing that they're entertaining here is a test. You need to stay aware. I am telling you right now. Every single person should be losing their minds over this. Guy comes in, wants fucking free buses, okay? Wants a rent freeze. Happened before, many times over in New York, okay? and all of a sudden wants to tax the wealthy a little bit, okay? And all of a sudden they're like, well, we got to deport him. He's a Muslim terrorist that needs to be deported. That's where we're at right now. Understand how fucking insane this
While
is.
use of the Attorney General's time.
Well, I'll let the president speak to that. I have not seen those claims, but surely if they are true, it's something that should be investigated.
Thank you, Caroline. Does President Trump want Zoram Mamdani deported?
I haven't heard him.
I know. The gray bars are back. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix everything. Hold on. All right, but let's get back to this.
The rest are seemingly trapped in a state of anxiety. And what we've seen is that this is a city that needs to be affordable for the people who build it every day. Our focus was on exactly that. And by keeping that focus on an economic agenda, we showed New Yorkers that this could be more than just a museum of what once was. It could be a living, breathing testament to possibility.
Well, let me ask you about what I was just discussing with Senator Chris Murphy. The fact that you have leaders Schumer, leaders Hakeem Jeffrey, who wrote very nice things about your victory, said you'd won a very strong campaign, have not endorsed you. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has endorsed you. Do you think the Democratic establishment is afraid of you?
I think that people are catching up to this election. This is an election that went against so much of the analysis that had been told about our party and where we needed to head to. And ultimately, what we're showing is that by putting working people first, by returning to the roots of the Democratic Party, we actually have a path out of this moment where we're facing authoritarianism in Washington, D.C.
Well, let's talk about your policies, your vision for this city. Here are some of the things you've proposed: free buses, rent-stabilized housing, a $30 minimum wage, the creation of city-owned grocery stores. It's a very long list of proposals. So let me ask you, if you were to be elected the next mayor of New York, what would your day one priority be?
The first thing is living up to these promises that I have made, because I've made them because I intend to keep them. And in a city of about 8.5 million people, close to 2.5 million New Yorkers live in rent-stabilized housing. The mayor, through a board called the Rent Guidelines Board, sets whether or not those rents increase or stay the same. The previous mayoral administration froze the rent 3 times. This one, led by Mayor Adams, increased it by 9%.
Yeah. Eric Adams increased the rent when he had every opportunity to freeze it. Okay? Now, what's really interesting about this is that now that rent freeze is a point of contention, Eric Adams, who is the most cynical charlatan of all time, has turned around and talked about potentially has talked about potentially no longer increasing rent as well. He just released I think he just literally released a statement saying we're just going to do the minimum rent increase this time around or something like that. I'm unsure how these politics works. How the fuck did Adams get in office? No, he said we can freeze it. We can't freeze it, but we want it to be as low as increase as possible. What did he say? Do we have the link? Don't send me Curtis Sliwa, okay? Shut the fuck up. Where is it? Where is the... Oh, here it is. Here's the statement from Eric Adams. Why I'm urging the Rent Guidelines Board to adopt the lowest increase possible while protecting the quality of housing for millions of New Yorkers who live in a rent-stabilized home. So he saw the rent freeze conversation take place and decided, you know what? We're just going to do the minimum amount. We're going to still increase it, but just by a minimum amount. One of the largest cost of kitchen table issues kitchen tables each month is rent. Dude, what the fuck is going on, dude? Why can't I delete the fucking deleted messages? I'm so goddamn annoyed. How do I hold on one second. It's so goddamn annoying. Restart Chatterino. Yeah, my chat window bricked, and it's just like showing it's showing the deleted messages, and I don't want to see it, like the moderated messages. Bruh, you suck at streaming. I know. I'm the worst. Where is it? Yeah, why isn't it showing? Why is it still showing it? I clicked on it. No, it's automatic detect streaming software. Tech issues is my favorite segment. Hold on, maybe if I turn it off and turn it on again, it'll fix it. Hopefully, but probably not. No, it is on disabled. It is. No, it is on stream remote. It detects OBS. It's on streamer mode. See, it literally says streamer mode when I go on a thumbnail. Yeah, see, like all this spam shit. Wait, let me see. Control H. Will that work? It's a Twitch bug. Yeah, see, it's not deleting it. I don't know why. I'm so fucking annoyed. What is happening? Like, this is exactly the type of shit I don't want to see in my fucking chat. You know what I mean? Twitch API is having problems. Yeah, no, I did the hide deleted messages gear thing. I did. I don't know why it's not. Oh wait, never mind. All right, I think it should work now. All right, we're good. We should be good now. I think so. I think we should be good. Someone type a slur. Yeah, all the spam is going away. All right, we're good. Okay. All right, let's get to it. Let's get back to it. Okay. Where were we?
So the first thing that I would do is start to constitute a board that votes in reflection of reality. And the reality I'm speaking of is that the median household income of those tenants is $60,000 a year. The landlords of those units have seen their profits increase by 12%. It's time for relief for working class New Yorkers.
Okay, well, of course, the big question is, how are you going to pay for it? You've proposed increasing taxes on wealthier New Yorkers. The Democratic governor, though, of your state, Kathy Hochul, says she's not going to support increasing taxes in order to get it across the finish line. I want to let you take a listen to a little bit of what she had to say recently and respond on the other side. Here she is.
I'm not raising taxes on people at a time when affordability is the big issue. I'm actually cutting middle class taxes. Even on the wealthy. I don't want to lose any more people to go to Palm Beach. We've lost.
Oh my God, dude. Come on. Have some fucking backbone. Have some goddamn backbone, dude. Of course, she doesn't. She does not.
Enough.
How are you going to raise taxes if you can't get Democrats to support it?
So I think what we've shown over the last 8 months is our ability to take that which is considered a non-starter and make it seem inevitable. We've shown that with this campaign, and ultimately we're...
Once again, here are the takes that you can fucking immediately deploy here. Are you ready for this? This is the only aspect of his policies on his campaign that requires Albany to play ball. Okay? Having said that, however, this has been a tremendously successful ballot measure in a state like Massachusetts, in Boston. Okay? It's been spearheaded by Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston, and this was a ballot measure that passed, a millionaire's tax directly. It was a ballot measure that passed in the state of Massachusetts. So this is a profoundly popular provision in blue states that will yield billions of dollars into the state coffers so that we can fund some of these initiatives that are helpful, that will clean up the streets of New York, that will make New York a more livable place. Okay? Yeah, in Massachusetts, the tax increase for the millionaire's tax was 4%. Zoram wants half of that, 2%. Okay? And this was a profoundly popular policy in Massachusetts. Do you understand? So he can literally point to another comparable state and another comparable city as far as the mobilization behind this policy.
We're seeing that our vision to tax the top 1% of New Yorkers, these are New Yorkers who make $1 million a year or more.
Yeah, you can also point to the fact that there's only like 34,000 of them in New York. We're not talking about, there's like what? 14 million people. What's the population in New York? Let's see. 8.25 million in New York. New York population, greater metro area. The population of New York, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, 23 million. Okay? 23 million in the New York metropolitan area. New York City in particular, 8 million. The number of millionaires that he is talking about is like the number of people that would be affected by this tax rate. Okay, the number of people that would be affected by this tax rate is literally 34,000. 34,000. Look at your own people. What do you mean? Look at your own people? What are you talking about?
And our proposal is to just tax them by 2% additional, is something that has broad support and will continue to increase that support over the next few months and years.
So you think you're going to be able to twist Governor Hochul's arm and get...
No, the New York metropolitan area is obviously 31 counties, which is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, so it doesn't count. New Jersey and Connecticut won't count. But I'm saying that like New York City is 8 million, and this is out of 8 million people, it is 34,000 people that he's talking about that would be impacted by this tax.
Get her to support raising taxes. I mean, what about the fact that she says she's concerned New Yorkers might leave? They might go to Florida.
I think it's time for a leadership that doesn't twist arms, but rather builds partnership. And I'm looking forward to having that with the governor, because ultimately my policies, my vision, it's driven by an assessment of what's actually happening. The Fiscal Policy Institute found that the top 1% of New Yorkers leave at 1/4 the rate of other income groups. And when they do leave,
the AI response from hold on. One out of every Bloomberg has an article on this. The number that they have is like 34,000, I think, that they said would be impacted by this tax. But Bloomberg is saying it's 300,000. But I don't think that's the case. I think this means like people that are working in New York in the greater metropolitan area. That number is probably around 350,000. But I trust Zoran's numbers more than I do this, because there's a little bit of a confusion here. Oh, $1 million in income. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, because he's talking about $1 million in income. Yeah, people with net worths over $1 million is entirely different than someone who makes $1 million in income a year. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. That's where the confusion is coming from. In any case, I don't understand it. Florida is a red state. If rich people left to Florida, wouldn't rich people make Florida great? Great question. The answer is no. 1 million isn't much in New York City, but regardless, it's a lot compared to other. 1 million is a lot, though, to be honest, in Manhattan. $1 million a year? $1 million in income a year is a lot everywhere on the planet. There is not a single place on this entire earth that $1 million a year in income is not a lot. That is insane. You are delusional if you think that that is not there. Like, you can say $100,000 in income a year is like barely making you live a comfortable existence in a big city in this country nowadays. Okay. And even then you can, you can have a little bit of a back and forth here. Like, if you're making $100,000 a year, okay, in a place like New York City, if you have to live in the city, or in a place like Los Angeles, if you have to live in Los Angeles, you're going to survive, but you're not going to be super comfortable, okay? Which is crazy to say. I'm talking about $100,000. There is no place on the planet right now where $1 million a year, if you make $1 million a year, you're not comfortable, or you're not immensely wealthy. Yeah, I make $115K and I live in Marin County. It's like $10K above the poverty line in Marin. Marin is near San Francisco, by the way. No, what do you mean Dubai? There is no place on the planet. There is no place on the planet where the yearly household income is $1 million and they're not making ends meet. There's not, like, you guys are talking, you want to know how much $1 million a year in income is? It's so much that when people joke and say, well, what about the limousine costs? Or what about the daycare costs? What about the nanny costs? None of that makes you have a hard time. None of that will cause you financial trouble if you're making $1 million a year. Marin, that's how you say it? My bad. Like, there's not, that's crazy. We're not talking about net worth, chatters. We're talking about fucking income. $1 million a year in income is so much money that it's like hard to spend all of that money unless you are like flying fucking private and you just have this very unhealthy addiction to constantly purchasing cars or something. Like, oh, I made $1 million this year. I don't know how to make ends meet. Why? Oh, because I bought a Bugatti Veyron. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be a deep and severe gambler. You have to have serious cocaine and gambling addictions to have a hard time with $1 million a fucking year. These people have listened to so many millionaire YouTubers they think it's old news now. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, you're making 20 grand a week, dude. What the fuck? Can you imagine? What kind of expenditures could you have that is $20,000 a week? Like, I fly around fairly frequently for my fucking job, okay? I ain't spending that kind of money. What are you, fucking nuts? 20 grand a week? That's like Aiden Ross is spending that much money a week. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? $20 grand a week is crazy. And I take care of my entire, I am financially supporting my entire family, okay? Y'all are fucking nuts. Anyway, let's continue.
It's actually to other states considered high tax, New Jersey, California. So it's not fiscal policy, it's quality of life. And ultimately, the reason I want to increase these taxes on the top 1%, the most profitable corporations, is to increase quality of life for everyone, including those who are going to be taxed.
Here's how the Washington Post editorial board wrote about your proposals. They say
oh my God, this is so cooked.
Massive minimum wage would depress low-skilled employment. His rent freeze would reduce the housing supply and decrease its quality. Cutting bus fares would leave a transit funding hole that, unless somehow filled, would erode service. Meanwhile, the grocery business operates on thin margins, and his plan for city-run stores would probably lead...
Wow, I can't believe Jeff Bezos' newspaper that fucking endorsed Donald Trump, by the way, at the direction of Jeff Bezos, unironically. Like the Post, Jeff Bezos, Trump endorsement, Washington Post's editorial board is against a socialist who is advocating for the most modest, the most doable increase in social safety nets. Color me surprised. Oh boy, am I shocked. Wow, shocked, I tell you. This is the most shocking thing.
To fewer options.
Yeah, I can't believe the e-commerce grocery store magnate wrote in his newspaper that a government competitor to his major profit-seeking sector would be bad. The margins are so thin. $20K a month isn't a lot. You should see the lifestyle of ex-wife. What? My ex-wife. Yeah, they endorsed no one. Remember, the board was going to endorse Kamala, but Bezos stopped it. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's a de facto endorsement of Donald Trump. Jeff Bezos personally stopped the Washington Post editorial board from endorsing Kamala Harris and said, oh, we don't do that. We're not in that business anymore, which is an endorsement of Donald Trump. And he obviously has a personal investment in seeing any kind of initiative of government-owned grocery stores failing, because obviously that would be a tremendous market competitor if implemented successfully all around the fucking country. Jeff Bezos does not want that.
Poor service and shortages. Mr. Mamdani, are your proposals going to hurt the very people you're trying to help?
Not at all. There have been many in editorial board who have had concerns, and what we've shown is that more than 400,000 New Yorkers are excited about this vision. And the reason they're excited about it is one that is in line with the scale of the crisis in this city. I mean, we are talking about our tax base.
Thin fucking margins, bro. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, man. Then I guess the government should own all the grocery stores then. Like, what is the argument here? Oh, dude, our margins are so thin. Yeah, you know who else has really thin margins, dude? Fucking insurance, okay? First of all, thin margins is made up. Okay? It's fucking made up. It's made up. The idea that, like, oh, our margins are so thin. Okay, then don't fucking don't use so much of the revenue coming in on a whole deal of ridiculous shit, whether it be executive pay, like executive payout packages, stock buybacks, things of that nature. Okay, there are so many things that companies do in terms of lobbying expenditures and all this other stuff that they could actually dial back from, but they don't, right? Bro, I'm being sarcastic. Okay. They don't do that. They want it. You are a cancer to the Democratic Party. I like that we're watching the most, like, currently one of the most dynamic candidates, a candidate that I endorsed and backed, that is making national news because of his, again, modest social democratic provisions. And this guy's like, nah, you're a cancer to the Democratic Party. Brother, the Democratic Party itself has maximum cancer right now, okay? This is the chemotherapy to the Democratic Party, and there's a bunch of dumb fuck liberals in here who still try to, like, hold on to the idea that, like, no, we have to do third way neoliberalism. Brother, you are not a fucking Democratic Party consultant. You're not getting paid by them. So why are you running defense for them? I don't understand. You're a voter. You are a citizen. You are not seeing any of the benefits. So why the fuck are you advocating for it? It doesn't make any sense. You're advocating for it like you're fucking Kristen Gillibrand. You're not Kristen Gillibrand. It doesn't make sense. There's never been, like, I understand why you would rise super hard for your local team, right? Maybe you grew up watching the games with your dad. Maybe you own the merch. You think you have like a stake in your team winning, okay? But I don't understand how people apply this to the Democratic Party when you are so clearly not a part of the fucking team, brother. You are not. Now you got some restructuring going on in the Democratic Party, finally. Okay, because a person has been successful, a person with populist messaging has become successful, and there are still naysayers out here in my chat being like, nah, dude, you're a fucking cancer. You're a cancer, dude. You're a cancer to the Democratic Party. Your vision, your goals, cancerous. It's because the other choice is the Republican Party. What do you mean? Okay, this is how you win this is how you defeat the Republican Party. Do you understand? So anyone that looks at this and goes, nah, the fucking guy who mobilized the youth after Democrats cried and complained about how we've lost touch with the youth, how we've lost touch with all these fucking different demographics, he's actually bad. He's actually what's wrong with the Dems. We can't have this. We can't allow this to happen. It's so crazy to me. I get why DNC consultants would say that, because their job security relies on actively undermining this kind of populist momentum. Yeah, if your football team has been getting its ass kicked for the past 2 decades, you don't get upset when they draft a star quarterback that's going to shake up the team. Them should at least be a proper team fan. Exactly. No, I'm on board with electing progressives. You know that. I'm just saying people have no choice in the stupid system. We need more people like them. Exactly. See, lib drive is correct. That is the real liberal mindset here. The real liberal mindset here is to look at this mass mobilization and mass momentum happening with a progressive candidate, with a socialist candidate, and goes, no, we need more of this, actually. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it happen in front of my eyes. We were wrong that to have this like weird, restrained attitude and consistent fucking advocacy against these kinds of candidates.
Growing smaller and smaller each day, with New Yorkers leaving to New Jersey, to Pennsylvania, to Connecticut. If we do not meet this moment, we will lose this city. And our proposals are ones that are thought out. They are ones that are also clearly going to be funded by these revenue streams. I'll give you an example. When we talk about grocery stores, I've put forward a proposal for a pilot of one grocery store in each borough. These are 5 grocery stores that would cost $60 million in a city budget of more than $113 billion. And ultimately, the reason that we are so excited by them is we've seen that they've worked in Kansas. We've seen that when a feasibility study was done in Chicago, it was shown to be something that was not only feasible, but pressing and urgent in an urban setting. And finally, it costs less than half of what the city's already set to spend on subsidizing corporate supermarkets without any guarantee of cheaper prices, any guarantee of collective bargaining agreements, or that they accept SNAP or WIC.
Well, you take me to my next question about grocery stores. Some executives, including one of the top grocery stores owners, billionaires, threatening to shut down his supermarket.
Great. That's amazing. That means the city can take over these grocery store chains that I guess are about to fucking close down. Go ahead, make my fucking day. You know what I mean? We'll take it.
In the city, John Catsimatidis, who runs Gristedes grocery chain. You're probably very...
Yeah, the Gristedes grocery chain, as far as I understand, is like already at the brink of insolvency too. What is the name of it? Gristedes Supermarket. Gristedes. Catsimatidis considers buying embattled rival grocery chain. John Catsimatidis is still carrying a torch for rival grocer Fairway Market, the Post has learned. Catsimatidis, who owns Gristedes Supermarket, has had recent informal discussions with Fairway owner GSO Capital Partners about buying the embattled chain, he told the Post. This was in 2017.